Good morning. I am Karen Ray. This is the Creator Studio where we are learning and gaining new skills and coming together as women to take those steps forward. So I'm so excited today to have Tammy Cannon, and we are going to be talking about, and I just love this topic, the Better Life Binge. And so I'm excited to see what this all involves. And so Tammy, I'm just going to let you take it away here. And so go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll just get started with our interactive workshop.
Okay, I'm so glad to be here too. Is this better for sound for everybody?
It's a little bit soft, but I think we can turn it up. So I think you're okay.
Okay,
There we go.
I've got my headphones connected, so hopefully they're charged and we can get through this for the next hour. Let me make sure that I'm still. Yep, it looks like they're connected, so that's great. Okay, I'm Tammy Cannon. I'm going to just keep that part short because I think you guys, everybody knows who I am, but I have gone through some transformations and some transitions in my work. And I've been in business for 10 years. And my first client was actually the city of Snohomish, where I live. And I know that you guys are talking about visibility and stepping up and stepping out and being seen. And when I did this, I actually met the economic director for Snohomish. And I told her that I was going to start blogging. And it was new at the time, if you can imagine. And Twitter was what I was on for social media, and I was on there for 18 months. I made all the mistakes that you could make back then. This was like 2010. And then by 2011, late 2011, 18 months later, I stepped out and I wanted to be more involved in my community. And so I went to an event, and I forget what it was called, but it was basically telling us that if we spent $50 in our communities every month, we would support all of the small businesses. If each person just went out and spent $50, we would be able to help and sustain the small businesses in our community. And I stepped out because one of my favorite stores had closed, and my kids were little at the time. And you'll actually probably see two of my adult children walking by. But at the time they were young, and it was a toy store. And I was so sad that she had closed. And I thought, if businesses knew about social media and about connecting online, wouldn't it be neat to see these businesses stay open and sustain themselves? And so that's what I did. And I happened to meet the economic development director, and she hired me, and I started the city blog, all of the social media accounts for all of the events that happen here, the brew fest, the cocktail event that we have here, the wedding event, the tours, all of that stuff. I started all of that back in the day. And since then, over the time, I have been teaching people how to show up and shine on social media, how to create their business funnels, how to run Facebook ads to grow their teams, their groups, their businesses, their boutiques, whatever it might be. But then I transitioned in late 2020, which was my biggest year ever in business. I decided to put that all aside and become a life coach and just study the brain, because a lot of my one-to-one clients at that time during 2020, because of everything that was going on, they were feeling unworthy. And so I spent a lot of time, in addition to teaching them Facebook ads, how to arrive at pricing, how to see that they were worthy enough to charge more. And there were tears and there were hiccups that they had to get through. And I just was like, this is my work. I love this. Yeah, I can teach you funnels all day and you can find all that stuff. But this part, the mindset, the worthiness, and the feeling, stepping up, stepping out, even when you're vulnerable, it's my joy to be your cheerleader and to help you do that. But also, you know, I can be your best friend, but I'm also not going to dive in the pool with you. I'm going to help you and be firm with you and get you back on track to realizing your dreams. So that's what we're talking about in this mini class in Better Life Binge. Is just really, I want you guys to focus on yourself in this time together. And I want you to think about what's going on in your life, I call your things in your life, I call them the F words. And so there's always something in one of your F words that's happening for you. So I'm just going to tell you what they are. And you might want to write this down because I forget myself what they are, but it helps me when I am waking up in the morning, when I'm journaling. I can pick one of the F's and I'm like, okay, fitness. I've got a problem with my fitness routine. So I've got to model this out, which I will share with you later, journal it out, put my thoughts on paper, and get going. So I'm going to share what those 6 F's are. They are on my paper. Just one second. I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out for you guys. So one is fun, family, fitness, which I already mentioned, finances, faith, and there's 2 more. Why can't I find it on my paper? Fun, family, fitness, friends, food, fun, and I think there are 7 of them. So if you wrote them down, you can count them for me and make sure that there are at least 7 of them. So when we're talking about this mini class, we're going to go over 2 questions, a kick in the butt concept, and then I'm going to share the model. And then I know you're going to have questions. So write those 6 steps down. And then let's dive into the first question. So question number 1, are you guys ready? You've got to write this down. You've heard this question before, but right now in this moment, when you're thinking about one of your 6 F's, something going on in your family, in your fitness life, in your fun. Some of you aren't having enough fun in your in your finances. I want you to be thinking about this question. It's totally underrated and undervalued. So if not now, why then? If not now, why then? So it's super simple, but I call this the when then game. So when XYZ happens, then I will do this thing. Sometimes you can call it the if then, if this, then that, but if not now, why then? And if you have something at top of mind, just go ahead and take some notes. And I do have a workbook for you, but I'm not going to send it until after you watch this because it's not going to make sense. And I wanted to have the face-to-face with you, but I had a whole presentation. I was like, no, I want to see their faces and then I will share the workbook after. So if not now, why then? So I'm going to share something that I'm going through right now. I wanted to start a yoga practice, but right now, the things I'm telling myself of why I can't is because my house is for sale. I don't want to have a ton of mats and all of that stuff sitting around the house when people could be walking through at any moment. We're moving, so I don't want to join a yoga studio because once my house sells, we were already renovating a house an hour away. So why would I join something? So I'm telling myself kind of all of these things. Like I can't do it now, but when the house sells, then when we move, when maybe I've got extra money for a membership to a yoga studio, then I will have my daily yoga practice and I will do that. So can some of you relate to something you're doing right now? And it's creating that awareness of those are just excuses, really. Those are not reasons why I'm not doing a yoga practice. Those are excuses that I'm believing, that I'm allowing my brain to hang on to. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just do that then. We do this with food a lot of the time. Another example that I will share with you is I don't want to eat as much meat as I'm eating right now. But I'm making up excuses as to why I'm still doing it. So if not now, why then? So I just want you to spend a moment, write that question down, think of one of your F's in your life, a situation that you're going through, and then spend a moment or 2 on that. And then if you're brave enough to share, we can do that later at the end of this. Let's move on to question number 2. If not then, why now? If not then, why now? So if you're doing something now, and for a lot of my clients, this has to do with things that we want to stop doing. So if you're not eating healthy, if you're spending more money, but you're not going to be doing it at some arbitrary moment in time. This happens during the holidays. Like, I have to spend because it's the holidays, but in January, I'm not going to be doing that. But ask your brain, if not then, why am I doing it now? If not then, why now? And it's kind of mind-bendy if you really stop to think about these two questions. And you may have to, after this workshop, go back over them because they sound the same. And it sounds like you're going to come up with the same answers. But if you really dive in deep into these and the concepts and the things that you're telling yourself, you will find gold there with what your mind is thinking and the results that you're creating in your life that you do want or that you don't want. So if not now, why then? And if not then, why now? Another example for the if not then, why now is when this came up during COVID with a couple of my clients is like drinking a little bit too much, maybe a glass or two of more wine than you maybe want to, but you know, then in the future, I'm not going to be doing that because COVID's going to be over. We'll be back to a routine. Summer will be over. Whatever the reasons that our brain gives us to, you know, if I'm not going to do it then question yourself, then why am I doing it now? If I'm not going to be doing it then, why am I doing it now? So I was standing doing dishes of all things, and we had a storm, and I live closer to the Cascade Mountains, and so we are most of the year socked in clouds, rain. I can drive an hour away to where my new house is being renovated, and it's sunny and beautiful, cloudless. So we live in this belt because we're closer to the mountains. The clouds just kind of get stuck here. And so we get rainbows all the time. And so I was doing dishes. I was just like, oh my gosh. And it was a double rainbow at this time. And I had just gotten done going through these questions with myself. They come up for me every day when I am faced with an obstacle or a circumstance that I'm going through. And so I was just standing there like, oh my gosh, the rainbow, it only appears to the naked eye when a certain set of circumstances comes together. You have to have the moisture, you have to have a sunbeam, you have to have, you know, nature at its best, creating this amazing experience of a rainbow. So I call it the rainbow effect, but we're using it against ourselves and we don't even know it. We are waiting for a certain set of circumstances to happen then, magically to occur in order for us to take action towards the possibility of our lives. We're just like waiting for the rainbow, waiting for the magic, waiting for a certain set of circumstances to be happening in order for us to take action. So my yoga example of the BS I'm telling myself of why I can't do it now, I had to question myself, and it's like, okay, so, you know, if I'm not doing it now, what do I think is going to be happening at that time then, that all of a sudden I'm just going to have this magical daily yoga practice in my life? Like, what is it that I think is going to be coming together? And could I create that rainbow effect for myself now with the actions that I'm taking, the feelings that I'm feeling, the thoughts that I'm thinking? Can I create that set of circumstances that I think is going to be happening in 3 months? Can I do that now? When you start asking your brain those questions, it loves to solve problems. And so guess what? My brain came up with, you know what? I bet you could get like a 90-day yoga pass. I bet you could find a chain like an Anytime Fitness that has yoga classes, I bet you could join that and just switch your membership over to when you do move. So once I started getting onto myself of like, oh wait, those are excuses. Those are not actually true reasons for why I am not taking those steps. And I started being like, okay, actually, I could do those things. I could start my daily practice now. I could create those things. And I haven't done it yet, but I am going to. So I'm holding myself accountable here, saying it out loud. I haven't done it yet, but doing this work, I'm like, you know what? I'm lying to myself, and how many other areas in my life where I am not achieving the results that I want, I am not doing the things that I want to do, or I'm not stopping the things that I want to be stopping. Where else am I lying to myself? Where else am I where else do I need to call up my own BS? So the other thing was, I talked about the food and eating less meat. And so I came up with, well, it's grilling season, and I love grilling, and vegetables are just not that fun to grill. I'd rather, throw some steaks on there and some seafood, and, it's sunny. We only get maybe 56 days in Washington where we can actually be outside and grill and enjoy the weather. So I'm going to grill, and I'm going to buy meat, and that's what I'm going to do. So, but I don't have to do that. I can do portobello mushrooms. I can do other fun things, and I can start to be like, no, how can I actually have fun grilling and also stopping eating as much meat as I want to do? So these two questions, if not now, why then? If not then, why now? And focusing on the rainbow effect and being onto yourself that you're creating this arbitrary set of circumstances in a time frame that you just made up. How can you create those things in your life right now? So now I want to move over to some models. I'm briefly going to teach you guys this because we dive deep into this in my program, The Better Life Binge, because just what I'm going to share with you, these 5 simple things, we were in an intensive for 6 whole months, learning all of the nuances, all of the mistakes people make with this. So I'm almost hesitate to share it with you here in this short period of time, because there are lots of mistakes that you can make and confusion. And you do need a coach in a way to coach you through this. I need a coach to coach myself through this a lot of the time. So the model is, it's really everything, and it's all you need for any issue in your life and for any topic that's happening, any situation, anything in your life. There's just 5 things that you can plug into. You can write this down. I've got the workbook, so you can either just listen intently or write down if you want to. There are 5 letters. If you are writing down, it's CTFAR. They are stacked, and they all relate to each other. So CTFAR, I'll tell you what each letter means. The C stands for your circumstance. So we talked about pick an F, pick a topic. For me, it was fitness and daily yoga practice. That's my circumstance. T is your thought line. S is your feeling line. A is your action line. And then R is the result. Your result line, what we're talking about here, if not now, why then? If not then, why now? That is your result line. And it always has to do, it's a reflection, it's a projection, it has to do with your thoughts. Your results always come from your thoughts. So I'm just going to briefly go through that. Actually, I did a model on my eating, my food. So my circumstance is goal to eat less meat. Your circumstance has to be neutral. There's no drama in it. I'm not beating myself up because I'm eating more meat than I want to. It's just like saying it's sunny outside and blue sky. It's a fact that we could all agree on. It's neutral. There's no drama. My thought about it though is everything creates all of my results. All of my results come from what I'm thinking about my food. And so one of them is I'll have more routine in the fall. I could pick it's grilling season. I just want to grill. That's just what I'm going to do. And your feelings always come from the thought that you're thinking in your feeling line all the time. Every single thought that you think is creating a feeling for you. And so when I'm just like nonchalant thinking it's grilling season, or, I'm going to put it off in the fall, I'll have like more routine to grocery shop and come up with better recipes. I'm content then. I start feeling like, yeah, it's summer. I'm going to grill. I'm content. And then what actions do I take from being content? Because every action we take comes from a feeling or stems from a feeling we think we're going to have at some point in time. And so the actions that I'm taking from feeling content are just like, I'm just going to continue to grill. And in fact, I did this work yesterday and I ordered Costco Instacart and I got a huge big thing of filet mignon that I'm going to grill tonight. So I still have to work on this stuff too. So I'm still going to grill. I'm still going to do it. But what I don't do, and these are also very powerful questions that I ask clients when we're doing this work for them, is what are you not doing? So I'm not researching healthier recipes. I'm sure there's tons of whole cookbooks out there or blogs or YouTubers that are grilling amazing vegetarian things that I could be tapping into, but I'm not doing that. I'm just staying stuck. I'm not being intentional. I'm not designing a meat-free life for myself. And so my result is then stemming from my thought, like I don't create a healthy routine for myself, or for what that looks like for me, a healthier routine for myself based on the thought I'll have a routine in the fall. My result is I'm not creating a routine for myself right now. And so there are several things in your life and in my life where this model comes into play, where, we're just not living an intentional life. We're not using the model in a way where we can be more livelier in every area of our life, or signing up more clients, making more money, getting out of debt, drinking less, eating less meat, whatever it might be for you. There are so many things that the model is good for. It's something that you can take after this and be more intentional about something in your life. If I wanted to create an intentional model with my food, and I actually think I have one for my yoga practice, which I really need to get into doing. And again, you're going to get this when I've got this handy dandy, the workbook. It's 10 pages and you'll get to dive into this stuff on your own. If you weren't taking amazing notes, it's all in here. So my unintentional model, this is what we call them, unintentional, and then we work on intentional models. But for my yoga practice, my circumstance in my feline is goal of daily yoga practice. It's very neutral, no drama there. I'm not beating myself up about it. My thought is, again, I'm moving. Why would I do this? So I just feel reserved or resigned, content. Same with the food. Again, I don't research. I'm sure there's YouTubers that are doing in-house yoga, and it's a little mat that I can roll up, roll out, roll up, put away if somebody's coming to look at the house. That is something that I could do, right? But I'm just not doing it. So I'm content. I don't research. I don't have a yoga practice. My result is I'm going to Vegas in a month, and I am not feeling like I look the way that I want to when I'm putting my bathing suit on and laying by the pool. So that is my results that I'm creating for myself, is that I'm just not doing it. I'm not having a yoga practice. I'm not creating that routine. If I want to create intention. And if I want to be onto myself and get rid of the excuses that I'm thinking are reasons that I'm believing why I can't start my yoga practice now, I can do an intentional model. When you do this, your C is the exact same. You don't change your circumstance. This is a trick that we try to do for ourselves. We try to change our circumstances to feel better, and it never works that way. The only way that we feel better is with our thinking. And from there, we feel a certain way, we create better actions to get the result that we want. So my intentional yoga model is this: C, goal for daily yoga. My thought is, I can make 15 minutes a day for yoga. I can totally do that. And from there, I'm feeling curious. And I always try to get, when I'm done with sessions for a client, I try to get them to a feeling of curiosity or a feeling of possibility. Like, it's totally possible that I can do that. I'm just being silly that I can't. It is possible. I can get curious about how I'm going to do it. So from a feeling of curious, I started taking fun action. The half yearly Nordstrom sale is going on. So I ordered a yoga outfit. And so I'm like, I'm making it fun for myself. I'm taking action from curiosity of like, I can do this. I can do 15 minutes a day, not a big deal for my health, for my peace of mind. So the action I took from curiosity is like, I wonder if there's some cute Nordstrom yoga wear that I can do. So I ordered an outfit. And then I searched at-home videos, and there is a girl, she has 8 million views, I think, and it's called Yoga with Adrienne. So you guys have probably heard of her. I'm gonna start doing yoga with Adrienne at home. And I ordered a mat that's pretty, that if I forget to roll it up or whatever it might be and it's out, it's just like, maybe it's on purpose, and it might be a fun idea for someone to go, oh, this could be a yoga spot. I can make a cute moment for somebody walking through. So now, just from my thinking and changing my thought process and changing my feeling to curiosity, I am taking positive action toward that result, so that when I imagine myself laying by the pool in Vegas, I'm going to be like, I did it. I totally did it. I took 15 minutes a day. I have a daily yoga practice. I'm someone with a daily yoga practice. Woohoo. That's what my result's going to be. And that's what I'm visualizing. And that's the power of the model and how we can use it in our everyday life for the tiniest little things. So when I started, I am certified through the Life Coach School, but I signed up to be a self-coaching scholar, is what she calls it, 4 years ago. And after about 3 months in, I knew it was working, because my husband, who is my very best friend, and I love him so much, but he came home and said something that normally I would have just been like, oh, I would have felt down about myself. I would have gotten insecure. My brain would have just been creating those feelings for me based on what he said, because I didn't know this work before that. And I would have probably tried to pick a fight with him, or I would have iced him out for however long till I decided I could talk to him again. And so, but in this moment, my circumstance was husband said XYZ, no drama about it. And then I was doing models in my mind, and I just thought, ooh, I wonder if he had a bad day. And I didn't make it about myself like I normally would have. And I got curious, and I also got compassion. And from that place, the actions that I took were not to ice him out, were not to pick a fight, but were to just like ask him about his day and make him a nice dinner. And it had nothing to do with me. I didn't make it about me. I didn't make it about our relationship. I didn't go there. And then I was like, in that moment, I was like, this actually is working. Like I have a better marriage just based on this model and being able to learn it and do it and go through it in my mind, even without having to write it all down, CTFAR. I was just doing it in my head. And so the work works, and it will change your life if you start to be intentional about asking yourself just these questions. Even if you just ask these 2 questions, think about the rainbow effects just to prompt your mind, and then try to do a model on one of your issues, circumstances that you have going on. Try to do it every day, and it will change it does just change the way you think about things in your life. So I am excited, you guys. That is what I have for you as far as the presentation goes. But if you do have questions, and for those that are watching on the recording, reach out to me as far as the workbook goes, because I don't want to send it to everyone. Karen, I'll talk to you about this later. It won't make sense unless you've watched this and get the explanations and moving forward on that. So yeah.
Awesome, Tammy. Thank you. This is so wonderful to walk through this model, and I have done some work with you before too, and I know that it really does take a coach to help you kind of train in this way, because you have to open your mind to new thoughts that maybe you haven't had before.
Right, and we can pick them out for you, and because when you're in it, you're just in it, and we have 65,000 plus thoughts a day, and so we're just spinning all day on stuff, and it really helps to have someone pull things out for you.
Yeah, and then also with the feelings, sometimes you don't even recognize what feelings you are having, or what kind of feelings you do want to have, and to name those too. I find that also takes some time working with somebody to help develop those things. And, like you said, getting to that place of curiosity or possibility. You don't always see that, and you don't always, what does that even look like if you haven't experienced that before? And then those actions, what are those positive actions? Sometimes you need some prompts from somebody. So yes, but thank you so much. This is really awesome. And so just before we stop the recording, because as we go into the Q&A, I'm going to turn off the recording so we can just chat. But just to tell for people who are watching the replay, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, yes. Okay. So Instagram is a great place. So for my life coaching, I'm at Overcoming Jealousy Coach on Instagram. And then I think that's probably the best way, or they can PM me through the group, the Tammy Cannon on my personal, and I can get back to you. And if you are interested in the Better Life Binge program, it's 6 weeks. We just work one-on-one with you, and we can dive 6 weeks just into the model, or there's my son leaving to go work on our renovation. Or we can dive in each week. I know for myself, I get coaching through the school every single week, and then I have a mastermind where we coach each other. And sometimes I'll sign up and I can't get a same day, and I get tomorrow, let's say. But then when I show up tomorrow, I have a different problem. And so, it's each week you might come up with something that just happened. And so we can work through that, do some teaching, coaching, teaching, and it works out really well, about 45 minutes a session for 6 weeks. And then you'll be able to coach yourself, and you'll know the nuances, and you'll know the questions to ask yourself, all the concepts that we go through.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I know a lot of ladies are going to be able to overcome and walk forward with that curiosity and possibility in their lives. So, and I'm going to go ahead and hit stop record.